This is one of those things that we're ready to take on. We've been rolling for years and we're only going to stop for a special project like this.
Exactly. We wanted something that had soul.
Character.
Yes, and that needed us as much as we needed it, you know? And so no matter how long it takes us to own this property, we trust that it will come in time, and we're going to do our best to do it justice and turn it into the beautiful little, you know, nook of our earth that it is.
It is a little cocoon.
Welcome back to our channel. If you're new around here, we're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful adventurers who got married, moved into a van, and have been chasing adventures all around the globe ever since. And now, after moving from the USA to Portugal, we'll be documenting our entire journey of building our dreams as we transform a historic watermill into our first home, not on wheels. Join us as we embark on this new and exciting phase of life. Now, let's take in a deep breath and let it out. Let the adventure begin. After purchasing a truck to help with our upcoming renovation works, we set off to meet our beautiful friends who came to visit from Italy. And in our last episode, we left you in the shimmer of a starry night sky as we made our way south to finally reunite with our property. But as with most great adventures, things didn't go quite as planned. Good morning, guys. Bon dia. We are here at a campground. I bet some of you were expecting to see us waking up on our property, but there are a few things that we have to get squared away, like the fact that the vegetation along the road to our property grew out of control this past winter, making it impossible to take our two-wheel drive camper down and definitely not back up that steep road. And then there's the other things, power and water, along with the fact that we don't own, or at least we don't fully own, one of the pieces of the properties that we are currently trying to purchase. There's sort of a long story there. It was an unexpected situation that has caused a lot of headaches for us and has delayed our ability to be able to go beyond the land and start working on it. We will explain this towards the end of the episode, but before we go there, let me show you what Drew is up to here, because we've been having a hard time keeping the refrigerator in our camper cold. So things have been melting. Another good reason to be at the campground. We could plug in. Even though it's been a little bit chillier here, even in the Algarve, it's about 60 degrees today. But it seems like Drew has figured out the issue. Oh, my poor socks are getting wet on the mat.
Oh no!
Wet socks is no fun.
We weren't getting a good flame on our pilot light that powers the fridge back here, so I did a little research, watched some YouTube videos, and I learned that if you clean the little gas orifice down here, that's the little orifice with the igniter.
Oh, wow.
So what happens is all the rust and debris over time falls down in here and it doesn't get a good flame.
So that's why all of my smoothie supplies have been melting. But I'll take melted smoothie ingredients over a complicated property contract situation any day. But at least it sounds like one of them will be getting solved. More on that soon, promise. Clean that orifice.
Nice and clean.
I wanted to show you guys our neighbors. Look at how massive. It just barely fits into our screen.
They even have a whole garage in the back where they can take a motorcycle up a ramp into the rear. I'm a little jelly.
It's a really nice motorcycle too.
It's super dope. Now that everything's clean, we're gonna put it back together and light her up. You know, it pays to be able to do it yourself, because otherwise you gotta go find a place that speaks a foreign language, try to explain it, then usually you're without your house. So just being a handyman of your own really pays off, and it saves a lot of bucks.
It's gonna pay off with our property, our future property at least.
I know, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed over that whole project. It's an endless to-do list right now.
In addition to the paperwork and bureaucracy being somewhat overwhelmingly complicated with our property, on top of that, we're trying to figure out what tools do we buy first and where do we store the tools, since we don't have access to the structure or the home to be able to put the tools in securely. So right now, the back of our truck is our current storage unit. Something else our trunk is great for is our AG1 brakes. It's just 1 scoop or 1 travel pack a day. They're just so handy to have with us wherever we go. And so are these bottles. We know we have the right amount of water to mix in with the 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. This gives us the energy we need to keep on going, no matter what kind of adventure we're getting ourselves into these days. Woo! It really is so important to build in habits and daily routines that benefit you in the long run, because when you take care of yourself, you take care of everyone around you. Oh yeah, hits the spot every time.
It's giving me the energy to finish this job. We've been drinking it for 3 years now, and it's the real deal. So sign up using our link below and you'll get 5 free bonus travel packs and a year's supply of vitamin D3.
Once you pop,
once you go green, you stay green.
AG1 for life, baby. We love you guys. We love our AG1. Cheers.
Cheers. Give it to me.
Right, Captain?
Right, mate. All right, propane's turned back on. I always want to make sure I do all the safety measures before playing with anything that has gas, combustible. But it's pretty cool on a 3-way fridge that you have the ability to take things apart, problem solve, and hopefully get it going again. So this is a big moment of truth. Hey babe, you wanna give her a start? Oh, there we go. Wow, that looks like a clean flame.
Drew's old toolbox.
The coffee maker French press box. To my new toolbox.
Ooh, today's the day. You're gonna upgrade.
This feels good, guys, really good. Don't tell anybody. I had to use a lot of duct tape to try to get this box back in order a month ago.
As much as Drew and I have been jonesing to be living on our land, this campground has been such a nice in-between for us. A place where we can take hot showers, we can plug in and not have to worry about our electricity or if we're getting enough solar, because soon enough we're gonna have to figure out how to provide all of those basic necessities for ourselves on our off-grid property. Right now there is no power, no water, no nothing up there, and we have to figure out how to provide all of it. But the other day when we were driving from the north of Portugal down here towards the south, we had to go visit our property and see what it was like this time of year, and it was
everything we hoped it'd be. And this is the
so
greenest
green.
we've ever seen it.
We've never been here this time of year. It's even more enchanting now. The flowers have bloomed, the grass is greener. There's more weed trimming than ever to be done here. We have a literal ginormous squash on our land. And look down here, there's another.
Anybody home?
Soon it will be us.
You know what's really crazy? I'm standing on the property that we own right now. Now I'm standing in the property that we do not own currently.
Oh, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy? Just like that one little bit.
I know.
There's so many of these clovers.
See if you can find a lucky 4-leafer.
Wow, look at the water flowing down there.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Whoa.
it's steep and slippery.
Be careful.
Whoa. This past winter, there were some really crazy floods and storms in the Lisbon area and all throughout Portugal. And it really made me wonder what actually took place down here. Like, how high did the water level come? I mean, right now it's definitely gushing. Look at that flow.
We have a waterfall for fairies. Oh yeah. Oh, we can make our own cold water bath here.
See that window right there? Goes in the living room. We got a lot to clean up around here. The more I see, the more I realize there's so much to do.
Soon enough we'll be back there.
Like today.
Like today. But we do have to go to City Hall to see if we can get ourselves an address.
No, that would be the post office.
Oh, can you believe that neither one of the properties we bought have an address? How is that even possible? I don't know if that happens in America.
There's like a grid with a letter and then a number associated to it, so somehow that has to make sense. But we need our mail.
Everything is figure outable, right? This mural's so cute.
You know what's cool? is a lot of times we're walking the streets of different villages and cities around Portugal, and there actually are people like this, the elderly people sitting in their windowsills, and it is just, you give them a little wave, they wave back and smile. It makes their day.
So cute.
It's just part of the charm.
It is. And you get the occasional kitty too. I love it.
You got a green light.
Green light. Cross. Correos. This is the post office.
You know what that means? I need to think about the first sentence I'm gonna say when I get in here. So I'm gonna pull out my trusty app, translate the sentence so I don't sound like a total dodo.
That's right. It's important to learn a few words. Like at the water tank place, I googled water tank and it's tanque de agua. I would have said like water tanca or something, but just go in with a little bit of knowledge so we don't frustrate them too much and they know that we're trying and learning. Empure. Push.
Fala pouco português. We're trying to get an address for our piece of property.
You buying the land?
We already own it.
Ah, okay. So you want a box to receive mail?
Yes.
The postman, they don't go to every place.
Sure.
Okay.
So if you see in the road some boxes
Right.
near your house,
Okay.
probably
It can be there.
is the place where you have to fix yours.
Okay, so like a community spot
Yes,
where
because the
multiple.
postman doesn't go to your
Okay.
door.
Is that just for small letters and mail or packages as well?
If you have package, you will have a warning like this,
Okay.
Ah,
and then you have to
pick it up here
pick
or
it up
somewhere.
here
Okay.
Okay.
and collect it here.
Okay.
Obrigada.
Perfect.
Well, we got the name and the number and the email of the man that we need.
The head Correo master.
That's right. He's the only one who's able to give us an address.
Yeah, he's the one who handles all the distribution for this entire region.
But it sounds like we need to go scope out the area around our home/neighborhood and see where other people have their mailboxes. Because here, the postman doesn't go to each individual home. Kind of like how we saw in LA, like in the windy neighborhood streets that not all cars want to drive up, you know? Not something you usually have to do when you purchase a home, right? It's kind of funny. But no one's ever lived on this property before, because it was a historical water mill and that's just where they ground the corn into usable corn flour, not where somebody actually lived full time. So it makes sense if you think about it. This has to be the coolest Land Cruiser ever. It's all wooden inside. It even has a wooden handle on the door and the dash. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
I love the color.
Me too. It's the color of spirit inside.
I know.
Onwards green. Do more of what makes you happy.
I think we're doing that.
Toast wraps and all.
That is the thing we're after right now. We want to have a toast wrap. That way, if the camper seems like it gets a little bit stuck, we can pull it with the truck.
Meaning when we take our camper down to our property. That is what we're concerned about. Alza de reboque.
Okay.
They're so nice and helpful here, even if they have no idea what we're saying. But at least we had a photo of a toast wrap on Drew's phone, and it sounds like there's maybe a possibility that
There's a
maybe
chance.
it's at this one store. We'll see.
I got the goods.
Success!
Success.
Aww,
The little DIY store had everything.
that's exciting.
Wow.
Including your toast wrap.
Like, we're gonna put it on my big toe and pull me around.
That sounds weird.
Toast wrap.
Okay, well now I think it's time that we go back to our property and we explain to you just exactly what's going on and why we don't own it yet.
There's more to that story.
We might not own it for 2 years. You got your boots on?
Ready to go.
Look at this, guys. Look at how lush this is. Lush with weeds and bamboo. This stuff is apparently really hard to remove and the roots are just really stubborn. I can't believe this. Soon, this will be home. So we're gonna do our best to try and explain the situation. It was not something that we saw coming. We were supposed to sign the deed the very next day when we got a message from our lawyer saying that she had to explain some Portuguese real estate to us and that we needed to schedule a 2-hour Zoom call because City Hall brought something to our attention that is causing this whole situation. So you have to watch out for the thorny vines. Who's gonna be trimming these thorny vines?
You are.
We are, that's right.
Look at them all down in here.
Those are just some of the things that we get to bond over in the few coming years here. All right, well, we're gonna do our best to explain the situation in a way that makes sense, because for us, it's so different from what we're used to when buying real estate in the US.
Yeah. Not that we've actually done that before.
No, but my mom is a realtor, so I sort of grew up around it. And the situation with the watermill property, because again, just to make sure that things aren't too confusing, we are buying 2 properties because in order to own the land that we would be parking, whether it's a car or a camper on, we needed to buy the neighbor's property because the property lines around the watermill were so tight.
Yeah, if you guys have been watching our channel for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about here. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Basically 2 summers ago when we came to this specific piece of property, which Brittany always likes to point out is the first property that we ever saw in Portugal.
It blows my mind.
And it just captivated you ever since, us ever since.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, if it only gets better from here, let's see what else there is. But we're here.
It's like a pizza slice. The borders to the property didn't leave enough room for a vehicle, a van, to be able to be parked there. And we always felt like home is where you park it.
And that's why we sort of initially decided to keep looking. The property shape was weird, but lo and behold, 2 years later, somebody else pursued the property, and in the midst of his research and decision-making process, he was able to find the neighbor who owned this
piece of property.
Right. And one thing that's been super apparent is that the local community here is going to be a really important part of our joy and success. You know, like Aldina and her husband, who are 2 GNR friends who work in the same area, were able to get us a meeting with City Hall. So, you know, it's this network that we're going to have to trust and develop over time. But there was one more huge obstacle that had to be overcome with purchasing the watermill, and that was the fact that the construction license had been pulled and that there was a deadline for the construction license to be resubmitted so that it could be approved again by the Camara, or else that window was going to close and this watermill potentially was just going to be deemed as a ruin.
It's kind of confusing, guys. The bugs. So basically the notary house appointment was set. The seller was going to go there to sign. We were going to have our power of attorney to go there and represent us. We were going to pay the remaining balance and get the entire deed put into our name, and we would own this property clear, full, fully paid for. However, that wasn't the case because 1 week out from that date, we were told from our lawyer that there was an issue related to the deed being passed into our name because an open project
Oh my gosh,
exists.
there's a really big mosquito. Sorry.
Thank you for looking out for me.
Yeah, that thing's like a dragon.
So there was where was I? We were going to pay the rest of the money owed to purchase the deed, sign everything.
And it was going to be ours.
And then it would be ours. We'd have the keys and we could basically move in.
And we would have a storage unit for all of our tools. Can I say that is like a really big headache right now? But anyway.
Because we don't have a place to keep them secured out of the elements. But
I know.
So anyways, we are finalizing the contract as we speak, working with our lawyer to just make those protections in place, because we are ultimately the ones who bear all the risk in this situation by not having the final deed in our name.
And the Camara won't allow the deed to be in our name until the construction's complete. Did we say that?
Yeah, so that could be 1 year, could be 2 years, could be 3 years.
It depends however long it takes us to finish this home. Then we will own it after that.
Yeah, and let's just be clear that construction processes and the bureaucracy and all the ways of doing things, plus us YouTubing it and getting the materials in foreign places and languages, is a very different process and way of doing things and a build compared to many of you who are watching our channel from the United States.
And we also want to say that we do know the seller of this structure, and we adore him and his wife.
Really sweet guy
and
couple.
Their story and their intention behind this whole project. And
he's an eco-architect by trade, so he's poured his heart and soul into making this dream come to life. However, because of permitting issues and inspectors and some changes in time and age and health and energy.
It is how it is now.
I think it's just time that he and his wife have decided they want to pass it on to somebody else to foresee their dream come to life. And I feel like, Brittany and I feel like this is one of those things that we're ready to take on. We've been rolling for years, and we're only going to stop for a special project like this.
Exactly. We wanted something that had soul.
Character.
Yes, and that needed us as much as we needed it, you know? And so no matter how long it takes us to own this property, we trust that it will come in time, and we're going to do our best to do it justice and turn it into the beautiful little, you know, nook of our earth that it is.
It is a little cocoon waiting for butterflies to bloom. Is that symbolic or what?
That was like a poem. Yeah.
That's why my wife loves me.
It's poetry.
But let's not forget that we are doing the D7 visa, and so that's a 5-year program. So this is just a little part of that whole process for us to become Portuguese residents, get European passports. We could have went and bought a condo by the beach or something, but that's just not in our DNA. We want challenges and projects, unknowns, adventures, and that's why we're pursuing this thing all in.
Yeah, we want life to make us come alive. And let me just say, once we get our camper here and the terraces are a little more level, we'll have water, solar generator situation.
Wi-Fi.
It's gonna feel like luxury. It's gonna feel amazing. So having this to work on, it's gonna take some time, but it's only gonna make us into the people that we're supposed to be, and we'll be even more ready for a home at that point.
Yeah, I think it's just that part of life that we've traveled and seen so many places. We're ready for this next chapter. So we appreciate all your guys' love and encouragement.
We do, but I am a little bit intimidated by the amount of work that this is going to take building a home. So we love all the love and support from you guys in the comments. Please leave us something, just giving us encouragement, tips if you've renovated land or live in Portugal, just things that maybe we didn't know that you think would help us along our journey. So we love you guys. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next adventure. Thank you for helping support this journey as we completely embark on something that is so unknown to the both of us. Like, we are out here, we're fresh buds. So yeah, thanks for supporting us. It means the world.
It does. Listen to that water down there. Wow.
Aww. One day we'll be inside the house. Can you see where the swinging bench will go?
I was thinking there should be a slip and slide down this hill.
Into the river. That's a fun idea.
That'd be so great. Wow. I'm in the river.
Cool. I'm a river investor.
It's like I'm river rafting.
Amazing.
It is really flowing out here tonight. What are you doing?
I'm trying to climb to the river.
Uh-oh.
I have to wear my boots tomorrow. Like my real boots.
Like these kind of boots.